Hi everyone, welcome back to Random Talk with NG. I hope you've been great. Today's conversation is not loud, it's not trendy, but it's definitely necessary. I want to talk about the courage to be misunderstood. Because if we're honest, many of us are not afraid of failure. We're not even afraid of change. What we're afraid of is this: being misread, being wrongly interpreted, being judged for a version of ourselves that isn't accurate. We want growth, but we also want approval. We want authenticity, but we also want to be understood. And sometimes these two things don't work together. So today, I want us to explore what it really means to keep becoming, even when not everyone gets you. From a very young age, many of us learned that being understood feels like safety. That when people understand you, they validate you, they affirm you, they don't question your choices as much. So we begin to explain ourselves early. Like we explain why we made a decision, even when we do not owe them an explanation. We explain why we changed our mind. We explain why we are different now. And explaining isn't bad, don't get me wrong. But over time, I feel like explaining can quietly turn into performing clarity, not because you owe it, but because you are afraid of being misunderstood. And here is a subtle trap. When being understood becomes more important than being honest, you begin to edit yourself. You soften your truth, you delay decisions, you stay longer than you should, you become palatable. Not because you are fake, but because you're just tired. Upon my reflection, I realized that one of the hardest parts of growth is that your language changes. Yeah, no longer the same person I used to be. The things you once explained easily now feel unnecessary to explain. Like, why do I have to explain in details when I can just give you one sentence? Because I do not owe you that explanation. The things you once defended, they now feel settled. And people notice. So they begin to say things like, you have changed. You're not as open as before. You don't explain yourself anymore. And they're right. Of course, they're right, because growth often moves you from over-explaining to quiet certainty. You start choosing peace over persuasion. Like, see, anything you want to believe, just believe. If they tell you I did it, leave it like that. You choose alignment over argument. You choose clarity over validation. And I feel that can be threatening, or that can feel threatening to people who were comfortable with the old version of you. Sometimes people don't miss you, they just miss who you used to be for them. They miss the person that they could just ride over, or they could just, I don't want to say gaslight or manipulate, but they could just coerce with their actions and inactions into over-explaining and into wanting to be understood at all costs. That realization is painful, but it's also freeing. We often treat misunderstanding as something to fix immediately, and I used to be that kind of person as well. We rush to clarify, to defend, to correct the narrative. But here's the truth that took me a while to accept. Not every misunderstanding needs a correction. Some misunderstandings exist because people only know an old version of you. People are interpreting you through their own fears. People are uncomfortable with change they didn't initiate. And you cannot out-explain someone who has already decided who you are. I'm sure you've had that instance, one or two instances where someone misinterpreted what you said. You try to explain, but yet the person wouldn't budge, and the person is just saying, oh no, this is how I saw it, this is how it is. And I've tried to explain. In fact, at some point, courage looks like letting people sit with the version of you they've chosen while you keep going anyway. I mean, you say that I am this kind of person. No problem. I accept. Leave me alone. You know, there's this meme in Nigeria where I think someone wrote, anything they said I said, or anything they said I did, please believe them, I did it, just let me be. And that doesn't make you cold, it just makes you grounded. There's a cost to always trying to be understood. A cost always comes with clarifying. There's a cost of always clarifying. The cost is emotional exhaustion, like it don't tire you. Self-doubt, delaying your own growth, Because you start, even with regards to self-doubt, you start analyzing, over analyzing. Okay, but what did I say wrong? Why do I have to clarify and over clarify? When you constantly explain yourself, you start living as though your life is a group project. That's it. But real adulthood asks something different of you, something different of me. And it asks, can you stand by a decision even if it disappoints someone? Can you move forward without unanimous approval? Can you trust yourself without a round of applause? Maturity is choosing integrity even when it costs you comfort. And that choice is rarely loud, it is often lonely. We often confuse confidence with boldness, but real confidence doesn't announce itself, it settles. It looks like no longer needing to prove your intentions, being okay with silence as well, allowing your actions to speak over time. Confidence says, I know who I am, even if you don't. And that doesn't mean you stop being kind, it means you stop shrinking. Confidence is not the absence of misunderstanding, it is the willingness to survive it. You may be thinking, does this topic actually touch everyone? Yes, this topic touches everyone. For younger people, it shows up as choosing a path your parents don't fully understand, being labeled different, or too quiet, or too serious. For adults, it shows up as changing priorities, redefining success, choosing peace over chaos. For older listeners, it shows up as realizing that not everyone needs to agree with your life choices, letting go of the need to explain decades of becoming. No matter your age, the truth remains. You are allowed to evolve beyond people's understanding. The courage to be misunderstood is not arrogance, it is humility. It is saying, I accept that I won't always be seen clearly. It is choosing self-trust over approval, growth over comfort, alignment over applause. It's understanding that clarity sometimes comes later and sometimes never. And that's okay. If you're in a season where people don't fully understand your choices, your silence is misread, your growth feels lonely, I want you to remember this. Being misunderstood does not mean you are wrong. Sometimes it means you are early into a new version of yourself, early into a deeper alignment, early into becoming. And that courage, quiet, steady, unperformative, is really something to be proud of. If this episode resonated with you, do well to share with someone. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Thank you for listening. Thank you for holding space for growth, both yours and mine. And this is Random Talk with Angie, and sometimes becoming means being misunderstood and choosing yourself anyway.